So, what does it actually mean when someone demands a political ouster? Well, welcome to today's explainer. Today, we're going to neutrally unravel this massive, ongoing NEET examination crisis, but we're doing it with a twist. We're actively building your vocabulary along the way. Understanding the exact words thrown around by politicians and the media, it literally changes how you grasp the whole situation. It's like having a decoder ring for the news. So get focused, because we've got a lot of crucial ground to cover.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's our quick roadmap. Number 1, the meaning of ouster. 2, unpacking the NEET crisis. 3, the CJP's key demands. 4, the status of those demands. And finally, number 5, we'll wrap up with a complete vocabulary review.
Section 1. The meaning of ouster.
This brings us to our first really critical word. An ouster is defined as a dismissal or removal from a position of power. In the political world, it's essentially a forceful push out the door. We're putting this definition right at the top today because a specific political party is demanding this exact, severe action at the absolute highest levels of the Indian government. It has become the complete centerpiece of their negotiations.
Section 2. Unpacking the NEET crisis.
Before we can really understand why an ouster is even on the table, we've got to look at what sparked it in the first place. And that brings us to our second vocabulary word, irregularities. By definition, this means actions or practices that just don't conform to accepted rules or standards. We pulled this word directly from official reports about the national examination system. Specifically, it's referring to the widespread NEET exam paper leaks and some pretty massive systemic failures. It got so bad that leaders were describing the current education system as entirely broken and corrupt.
Let's actually connect that vocabulary to the real events on a timeline. So, these systemic irregularities led to the total cancellation of the NEET exam back on May 3rd. And tragically, this cancellation was followed by the suicides of several student aspirants. From there, tensions just kept escalating right up to July 20th, which saw major protests where students were reportedly brutally thrashed by police. That escalating timeline brings us directly to Friday, where a crucial 2-hour meeting went down at Vithalbhai Patel House. And actually, that location was chosen specifically because it is a neutral venue.
Section 3. The CJP's key demands.
So, sitting at that neutral venue, a 2-member delegation from the Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP, met with Union Ministers J.P. Nadda and Jitendra Singh, and they brought 5 major demands to the table. First up, the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Second, financial compensation for the victims' families. Third, a public apology for the police action on July 20th. Fourth, the absolute withdrawal of all FIRs, that's First Information Reports, filed against peaceful protesters. And fifth, a written guarantee protecting students in the future. Now let's zoom in on a couple of these.
When it comes to that first demand for the education minister's ouster, the CJP used one very specific phrase, non-negotiable. They explicitly stated that Dharmendra Pradhan must either resign or be completely dismissed from the cabinet by the government. By dropping the term non-negotiable, the delegation basically drew a hard line in the sand, right? They established this as their primary, totally unyielding condition for any kind of resolution.
Then there's this specific number, 1 crore rupees. This is the exact amount of financial compensation the CJP is demanding for the families of each and every student aspirant who tragically ended their lives following the exam's cancellation. The delegation is drawing a direct line here, tying this financial demand straight to the systemic failures of the NEET process. And this brilliantly sets up our final key vocabulary word for today, sovereign. Sovereign means possessing supreme or ultimate power. It represents a formal, undeniable assurance from a government. You see, the CJP isn't just asking for a verbal promise or a handshake here. They are demanding a written sovereign guarantee from the government to ensure that absolutely no student protesters are going to be targeted by authorities down the line.
Section 4. Status of the demands.
So how did the government actually respond to this pretty intense list of conditions? Keep in mind, this was the 3rd official interaction between the two sides, and the CJP explicitly declined earlier invitations to meet at ministers' private residences, insisting on a neutral venue. Well, regarding the minister's ouster, the union ministers heard the demand, but there was no immediate acceptance. That one is strictly pending. However, when it came to the 1 crore compensation and withdrawing the FIRs against the students, the government responded positively, making those statuses highly favorable for the CJP delegation.
So we're kind of looking at a split outcome from Friday's meeting. On one hand, you've got a positive response. The government was really receptive to providing financial compensation and legal relief. But, on the other hand, the biggest hurdle remains. There is no formal decision yet on the non-negotiable resignation of the education minister.
Instead, the ministers stated they would get back to the CJP, and they officially scheduled a follow-up meeting for Saturday to give their formal response.
Section 5. Today's vocabulary review.
Okay, we've covered a lot of intense political ground today. Let's quickly lock in the exact words that shape this whole narrative. Number 1, ouster, which we now know represents the strict, non-negotiable demand for Minister Pradhan's removal from power. Number 2, irregularities, the precise term used for the NEET paper leaks and the systemic failures that kicked off this entire crisis. And number 3, sovereign, the absolute highest level of written guarantee, demanded to ensure the safety of the protesting students.
Let's think about those words one last time. Does understanding political vocabulary fundamentally change the way we interpret the news? I mean, when you really know the exact weight of a word like ouster or sovereign, a standard, maybe even boring news report transforms into a vivid, high-stakes negotiation. I highly encourage you to take these vocabulary tools with you. Use them to stay critically engaged and focused as this situation unfolds over the next few days. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.